This is video number 4 for map assignment number 6. Let's dive in. Let's do some HF shading. It's not all that hard. Let's first shade the bottom of the array. You could do it in this window. Actually, you're not going to do it in that window at all. You're going to do it in not that window either, this window. So we want to shade the bottom of the array. And I give some, you can experiment all you want with your own values. I do give you some recommendations. The bottom 2 boxes by 6 dB and the 2 boxes above that, boxes 13, 14 by 3 dB. And you could try it your own way. This is what I did. So I'm going to dive into the EQ. Of course, I'm on channel 16. And I would go to U-shaping. That's the top U-shaping band is a shelf. You can yank it down here and bring it down if you want. Or just, I went ahead and did -6. And I kept the crossover frequency at what it was from previously defined when I was preparing for the previous map assignment. So I think it was on 97, right? So there we go. It should be exactly the same. So -6 dB down for the bottom 2 boxes and -3 dB down for the 2 boxes above that. Now you can experiment with this. In fact, when you get to the very end of this, the results I got, which it was, maybe I should have even been more aggressive down at the bottom, and you can kind of even see those results here. It's still pretty bright even after the gain shading, so you may even want to get more aggressive. So I encourage you to experiment, and again, you can tweak the crossover if you want here, but that will affect your EQ that you did overall on the system last exercise. So with that done, this is the results I get. Of course, you can go click predict yourself and see, but you can definitely see that the brightness near the stage goes down. Now do note that this HF shading is an included feature in other manufacturers' array prediction software. L Acoustics and D&B both include it, and it's very powerful in their software. It automatically works. It will automatically take a given array dimensions and tweak EQ with FIR filters, with linear phase filters that don't have phase interaction between the boxes, and it will really greatly improve coverage. Now, Meyer has really not adopted that fully yet. I anticipate it will come sooner, and we don't actually have any FIR filters we can use in MAPP to simulate that, and that would probably be a higher tech way of doing this, would be both be in automatic and with FIR, and I'm sure that's coming in the future, but at the moment we get to experiment with it. Okay, let's do something completely different. We've shaded the bottom of the array. Before we shade the top of the array, we want to add a left array section so we can view predictions from the side. So we got to go back to something we haven't done in quite a while, which is go to the model view and create a primitive. So take the rectangle, and here let's go in 3D isometric view, and let's take this rectangle and we'll click it here. It doesn't really matter where, just get it away from the rest of the drawing. And we need to move the vertex down to this kind of downstage center section. So I don't know if you remember how to do this, but right click on the selected primitive and pull up select vertex. At this point, click where you want it. You want the downstage center one. Of course, this is stage, right? And once you're done with that, you have to right click again and hit select object. And then one last thing is hit return on the keyboard. Now it's good. Now I need you to select it. And once you've selected it, enter in these values that will position it correctly. I will do this. I'll slide it, try to slide it while I don't need that open. And do I want to save it? Oh boy, I better just leave that alone for the moment. And let's copy these values. And we're going to do -5, -10, 5, 90 degrees rotated. It's 80 meters by 18 meters. And we can look at this now side view. You can see what it is. And let's, of course, make it a prediction plane. And we need to do some appropriate namings. I actually skipped a step. I want to call it the left array section. So I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to paste that in there. And while I'm at it, I really should have put it on a layer to begin with by itself. So I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to name it that. And while this thing is selected, and I'm going to go isometric to make sure nothing else is selected. It is. I'm going to go to Object Settings, and I'm going to move this guy to the appropriate layer. Cool? So we will use this in a moment on a next video, but this will let us see side view predictions. Okay? Excellent.